Divine greetings and gratitude, everyone. If y'all are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the witch, author, and poet of Magic of Eden. Welcome to your newest spiritual safe haven. And if y'all are returning, hey family, welcome back to our sacred garden. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. As y'all can tell, at the very beginning of the video, I introduced myself as Nuna. I will go further into that in either a later video, or I may just simply tell the people that are closer to me behind the scenes. As of right now, please understand that I will be addressed as either Priestess Nuna or just Nuna. And the reason why is because I'm going to start going by my spiritual name and no longer my original name, which is Cassandra. If people continue to call me Cassandra, I will not respond. That's if you are not getting a spiritual service from me. If you're getting a spiritual service from me, or if you are coming to seek any type of guidance and counsel and wisdom and intuitive downloads and messages and whatnot, I will be addressed as Nuna. If you are closer family, and I mean very close family, like my sisters, my brothers, and close family and whatnot, then that is a different story. We will discuss that behind the scenes. That is not what we're going to talk about right now. Again, I will be addressed as Priestess Nuna and or just Nuna. Okay, now we are going to be talking about this new moon partial solar eclipse that we are going to be having in the sign of Aries tomorrow at 6:58 a.m. and that also is Eastern Standard Time. That is when I actually have the chart pulled. Also, just a quick disclaimer. I wanted to, a quick note, if you will. I wanted to do this video face to face. However, the way that my hair is set up and the way that all the work that I have to do, I did not make time to, do myself up at all today. I ended up working out. I had to get some things, done behind the scenes, and that I'm actually still working on and whatnot. So I did not have time. Not that I need any of those things, but I do like to have those things because I like a certain presentation when I'm face to face on camera. Anyways, so that's the reason why you see me doing the reading this way. Now, moving forward, okay? I wanted to take a look at the chart, and at first I wanted to do each and all the rising signs. However, I was guided to just simply give an overall, not perspective, but an overall message for everyone, because to be honest with you, this message is just simply going to apply to whoever needs to hear it, okay? Having said that, I'm noticing that at the time of this new moon, we're going to have an Aries first house stellium, and we're going to have a Pisces and 12th house stellium. In the first house, we have Mercury, who is retrograde. We have the sun and the moon, of course. So 3 planets or more usually make up stellium. And a stellium in astrology is essentially where there is a concentrated planetary energies that is concentrated in one house and or sign. For example, we have 3 planets sitting in the first house in the sign of Aries. That means that we have a stellium in Aries and a stellium in the first house. We have 3 planets sitting in Pisces, which also is sitting in the 12th house. So we have a Pisces stellium, and we also have a 12th house stellium. Now, this means that a lot of the energy is going to be felt in that part of the chart, which is the house, and it's also going to be felt most likely in those signs. Okay, now moving forward, starting with the first house, I'm noticing at the first house, again, we have Mercury, who is retrograde. We have the part of fortune. We have the ascendant, of course, and we also do have the sun, the moon, and Chiron. This, to me, is all about us seeing or going inward to feel and to observe where we have felt disempowered, where we have felt disenfranchised, where we have felt limited, where we have felt dominated, and where we have felt restricted, constricted, and all of these different elements, and how that directly relates to our image, who we are, our sense of self, and our own sense of empowerment. I feel that at the time of this new moon, that we are going to start realizing, or we're going to be called to really go within ourselves and do a lot of soul searching. I do not see this as a time of major activity out there, like out loud, but I do see a lot of this happening on the not on the back end, but behind the scenes. Because what is happening right now is that there's a lot of energy that is concentrated on the image and also within the subconscious. And I say that because the first house does deal with you. It deals with how you are seen. It deals with your sense of self. It deals with really like your personality, if you will, right? It deals more so with things of that nature. And we have the 12th house, which deals with your psychology, how you think of things, your subconscious, right? It deals with the things that other people see you as this and you may not understand it yourself. It's when your subconscious mind directly speaks to you. It's the shadow aspect. It's the part of us that it's like our voided part of us. It's like all of the information that is stored within this void, and then it becomes apparent during certain type of planetary alignments, if that makes sense. Okay, anyway, concentrating back on the first house, I feel like at this time of the new moon, we have to understand that our greatest rewards and that our power and that the best things in life are going to come from us realizing where we have felt or where we have not been our most authentic selves, and where we have not allowed ourselves to trust in ourselves enough to walk firmly and courageously in our power. I feel like at the time of the new moon that there are going to be revelations, is the word that Spirit is saying, is that there are going to be a lot of revelations in terms of healing, in terms of understanding and understanding and overstanding who we are. Now, at this time of the new moon, I feel like this is going to be one of those times where we are really going to sit down and go within ourselves to ask, where have we felt disenfranchised? Where have we felt disempowered? Where have we felt marginalized? And where do we feel that we have not been the most authentic with ourselves? Where do we feel that we were not walking with purpose, in purpose, on purpose, right? Where were we unintentional with our energy? And also, it's this divine masculine energy that is going through this self-reflection. Aries is ruled by Mars, which directly points to our divine masculine. Speaking of Aries, speaking of Mars is in the 4th house at the time of the new moon. Also, he is direct in the sign of Cancer. Mars is learning a lot of lessons. No matter where Mars is in your chart, Mars is the highlight. And I feel this. Mars, first it was Uranus, right? Like we were all on Uranus. And of course, Mercury, makes his, he does his moonwalk backwards, during his time and whatnot. But I'm feeling deeply like Mars is the star of the show right now. Now, wherever Mars sits in your chart, that's more than likely where you're going to be learning the most lessons right now, especially in terms of where he's transiting. So you have your natal Mars, and then you have Mars that is transiting in your house, right? So I feel like at the time of this new moon, the fact that Mars is in the sign of Cancer, who's direct, or the fact that Mars is direct in the sign of Cancer, this to me feels like what is becoming more apparent and what we're understanding are our triggers, how we have triggered others, what is going on within the home that is directly impacting the way that we react to things on an emotional level. It's us, or it's our divine masculine that is being put on highlight here. And this is a time where we're starting to realize where we have been overly asserting ourselves, where we have been overly dominant, and or where we have not been dominant, where we haven't been asserting ourselves. And I feel like at this time, this to me, I'm hearing like the words emotional maturity. We're learning how to be a lot more emotionally mature in terms of how we react. And I feel also like we're learning how everything that is within our subconscious that is coming forward is showing us through dreams, right? Through child messages, the things that need to change so that we can step fully into this power that we have, step into who we know that we are, into our identities, so that we can solidify that to set us forth throughout the rest of our lives. As y'all can tell, the world is no longer the same that it used to be, as it shouldn't be. And at this time, I do feel like there is going to be a lot of different people who are feeling this call, this urge to just get up and do what they need to do and have courage. And I'm getting chills. They are being called to have courage. The people who were considered rookies are no longer rookies anymore. These people are going to come marching in the front line saying, I am here. I am advocating for myself. I am advocating for my soul tribe. I know where I have felt disempowered, and I know that I have the courage, the conviction, the strength, the spirit to stand up for myself, but also for my soul tribe. And that is what I'm seeing at the time of this new moon. There's going to be so many things that are going to be revealed to us through dreams, right? Through whether it be journaling, automatic writing, through these artistic endeavors. There's so many things that our subconscious mind right now is speaking to us and has been speaking to us, because it's not just about it being during the new moon, it's also what happened prior. So these things have been underway since last year. It's been underway for a while now, and all of these different things are shifting and changing. Now, I do feel like there is this collective need to come together and understand, okay, what is my place here? What am I meant to do? This is what this person is doing. This is what I'm doing. And even though I'm honing in on what I need to do and on my own purpose, I know that no matter what, that if I continue to be authentic with my dealings, if I continue to be or to have integrity, right, that I'm going to be able to show up for my soul tribe in order to help change this world and bring balance and harmony. Because I know that this is not just about me. It's more than me. It's the collective energy. It's this collective consciousness. See, and I also feel too, like we are all collectively having these dreams. We're all collectively dealing with things on a subconscious level, but at the same time, the ones, what I'm hearing is like the ones who are chosen, right? The ones who are meant to be on the front line, right? I don't know why I'm hearing like soldiers, like soldiers, like kind of like banding together and realizing that war is not the answer. Like that's something that's coming through. It's like war is not the answer. We know that war isn't the answer, and we don't want the war within ourselves to cause conflict and to cause disruption on the outside of us anymore, because look at what's happening. Look at what has happened. We have destroyed so many things, right? We have destroyed people. We've destroyed ourselves, each other. And I feel like now we're at this energy where it's like we are needing to check our divine masculine, and we are needing to say to ourselves, this is where I draw the line. I am no longer willing to do this. I am no longer willing to hurt this person. I am no longer willing to hurt myself, because that is not truly who I am. Who I am is a loving being who was here to help shift this world in the best way that I know how. I now know the difference between destroying the world and also saving it and honoring it. Because see, at first I didn't know. And this is not me saying that. This is not Nuna saying this. This is a channel coming through for somebody. Someone did not know the difference between hurting and harming themselves and also helping themselves. They didn't know the difference. And the people that you were around didn't know the difference between helping themselves and helping you and harming you and destroying themselves in the process. They didn't realize that. But see, now things are becoming a lot more clear as we are approaching the ending of this Mercury retrograde cycle, if that makes sense, right? Now, I do feel like this is the point in time where we are learning to revisit and to not fully attach ourselves to what is happening, because we know that what is happening outside of us is merely showing us something, right? We are understanding that the more that we move with this emotional maturity, that we're going to make the conscious decisions and the better decisions to set forth this energy, or to bring forth this energy and to call in this energy to initiate new beginnings. We're learning how to have more courage and conviction within ourselves. We are learning how to use our creativity to allow, and our wit to allow us to no longer be disenfranchised. We are rising above it. And it's so interesting because it's bringing me to the story of High John the Conqueror. Also, speaking of High John the Conqueror, the High John the Conqueror root actually is ruled by Mars. And Mars is, so this root here is not just about having strength, right? And you know, having success, which is very much is, but it's also about protection, and it's also about you tapping into your own inner world, you tapping into your own inner wit, and you tapping into your own inner authority to make change and to create change. It's you tapping into your divine masculine in the appropriate way, and in a way that you need to, in order to overcome, in order to get past, in order to reclaim your power, if that makes sense, right? You are no longer allowing anyone to be the master of you. You are the master of you, and you understand that. But you also understand that you have the power, you have the courage, you have the conviction, you have the strength. And you have the mind, you have the skill set, you have the maturity to allow these things to come in, and also to create it for yourself. You are no longer waiting on anyone to come and save you. You are saving yourself, but at the same time, you know that through collective effort, that we are all in this together and that we can all actually help to save each other, if you will, if that makes sense, right? But the way that we quote unquote save each other is by us first saving ourselves. It's us getting out of the muck. It's us getting out of these bad habits, these old habits, right? And I don't want to say bad habits, but these unfavorable habits. There are so many things right now that are changing. Your footsteps are changing. The direction, the type of shoes you're wearing, you're changing. The type of socks you're wearing, you're changing. I don't know why I needed to say that, but I'm going to say that. Everything about you is changing. People now have to remember, or they have to relearn how to deal with you. They have to relearn how to address you. They have to relearn how to approach you. And that's because you're not the same person that you used to be. And that is exactly what this new moon and the sign of Aries is teaching us. It's teaching us, or it's showing us where the greatest reward comes from. It comes from us initiating it and knowing that as long as we own our power, as long as we understand that we can't control what people think of us, that we can't control how people react to us, but that we can only control ourselves. It is not until we realize that and we apply that wisdom, right? We apply that to where then our lives change. This is no longer a moment where you are sitting silent and not advocating for yourself. This is a perfect time for you to write down the moments where you felt that you needed an advocate, where your inner child needed an advocate. This is also what Spirit is saying is about taking accountability. If you are an Aries and you are wondering, well, why has my life been this way? What is going on? Yes, because you needed to see where you messed up. You needed to see the habits that you had so that you can shift and change. So that you can shift and change to allow this new life to unfold. This is about you exercising your will where it needs to be. This is divine masculine understanding that the more that it tries to control, that the only thing it's going to do is hurt itself. You have to remember and realize where you, again, have felt disempowered, but also where you can allow yourself to loosen the grip. Spirit is saying for you to loosen your grip. You have to loosen your grip and trust and know that it is okay and safe to be vulnerable. There is so much power in vulnerability here, and Mars is understanding that. There is power in vulnerability because the more vulnerable you are in the spaces that are appropriate, the more that you know about yourself, the more that you honor your divine feminine. You don't fight against it. And divine masculine is understanding that it cannot fight against divine feminine. Let's go back to the fact that we predicted that there's going to be a I'm stuttering, you guys. You guys know what that means. If you guys don't know when I stutter, it's because my mind's moving a mile a minute. So basically, if y'all remember, we did predictions back last year where we talked about how the divine feminine is going to be the main focus, right? So even though the divine masculine is the focus right now, the reason why is because divine feminine is showing divine masculine what needs to change. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about divine masculine and divine feminine. Divine masculine surrendering to this divine feminine, right? To this dark space or to this shadow space. The light surrendering to this darkness in order to understand and see what is unseen. The unseen is becoming more visible. It may be becoming more visible behind the scenes, right? But that's okay because everything that's happening behind the scenes that you are learning, you can then turn that knowledge into wisdom to be taken with you outside in the world so that you can solidify. The midheaven is going to be in Capricorn in the 10th house here, right? So it's solidifying your legacy. It's solidifying how you are meant to show up in the world. All the work that you're doing behind the scenes is ultimately going to help you change your identity or tap into who you are, which is going to have a long-lasting impact on your legacy. Mark my words. If you were to write down in your journal, and I'm going to have conviction in saying this, if you were to write down in your journal, if you were to script, I kid you not, that if it is in alignment with you, right, and you come back to this, what Spirit is saying is that I want you to come back to that journal 10 years from now, 2 years, 5 years from now, however long, and I want you to see just how much of what you wrote down manifested. This is more than just a time for you to believe in yourself. This is about you knowing that you are gifted, you knowing that you are carried, you knowing that you have the courage. And if you feel that no one is doing it for you, then damn it, you do it yourself. And people will catch up and they will follow along the way. Because there are people right now who are listening to this who said, you know what? I don't think I can do it. But guess what? You did. And people are going to come to you asking you how you did it. And then that's when you'll know, my time is here. And your time is here right now. People who doubted you are going to wish they never did. People talk behind your back. They said things about you that you weren't aware of, that you may have been dreaming about. And guess what now? When that moment comes, they're going to say, damn, I remember when I said this and that. I was wrong. You're right, you were wrong. But see, I had nothing to prove to you. All I needed to do was be in my power. And me being in my full authenticity showed you just how wrong you were. But it's not a matter of you being right or wrong. It's just simply about me being who I am. And you had to catch up. That was on your doing. See, while you were paying attention to me, I was paving the road. I was working directly with my ancestors. I was working directly with spirit. I was working directly with God because I knew that there was something within me that needed to change. And there are so many things right now that are happening in your life that is changing. And spirit is asking for you to trust it, for you to allow yourself to trust. And to know that no matter what, that as long as you have a brave heart, that nothing will ever fall short to you again. As long as you are within your heart and you are divinely led through your intuition, that you will always be led to the right reasoning. But if you follow your heart for just a moment, you will see that everything was leading you to this place right now. And at the time of this new moon, Spirit is wanting you to know that this is your time. New beginnings are absolutely on the horizon. This is your time to plan, because once you plan and once you start getting that emotion, it's going to go fast from here. But it's going to be consistent, because for some of you, your life has been this one long journey of you just trying and of, trial, error. But now you're at a space where you are fully knowing. This is full faith and credit. You have full faith and credit, and you are trusting yourself to be divinely led. You are leaving behind the need to be overly critical with this South Node in Virgo. You are leaving behind the nitpicking. You are leaving behind the wanting to be perfect and showing up in the most perfectly divine way. You're just simply being yourself. And it's so funny that I say that, because at the very beginning, I was just saying how I didn't want to show up because, I wanted my hair done and like all this, trivial stuff. I'm all for, making a good impression. But what I'm also for is simply showing up as you coming as you are. Come as you are. Spirit is saying, come as you are. You are coming as you are. And you are learning along the way. We are all collectively transforming this reality. That's the reason why Pluto is in Aquarius in the 11th house at the time. Because we're all collectively on a subconscious level reprogramming things. And it's happening on the outside of us. That's why I almost cursed. That's why this stuff is happening the way that it is. There's a great reset. I remember when I did this podcast episode called The Great Reset. Yeah, the Great Reset has been happening since that time. I believe I did it back in 2019. I was predicting that back in 2019, or something like that. Yeah, 2019, I believe it was, where I was predicting. I had this dream about the Great Reset. Yeah, the Great Reset is now, and it's been happening. And now this is a part of that Great Reset that we were talking about. I believe it was back in 2019. I believe it was. Was it 2019 or 2020? It was something like that. I know it was a few years ago we were talking about it, but now we're at the stage where now that these changes are coming, you yourself, this power is being returned to the people. The power is 100% being returned to the people. Also, what I do feel like is that the things that were hidden, the things that were in the shadow aspect, with pertaining to government and things like that. I gotta watch my tongue here, but I want to say that I don't want to tell you to keep a close watch, but what I do want to say is that there is a public leader who is understanding, or this divine masculine leader that is understanding that certain things have to change. If it is not constitutional, it cannot fly. People are waking up to that. That's what I will say. I just heard like a public figure, like masculine or divine masculine public figures. The things that they are dealing with, if they're not doing the work internally and behind the scenes, then it's going to show up in their identity, which can ultimately impact their legacy, how they're seen in the public. It definitely will have either favorable or unfavorable outcomes. It depends on the work that they're doing. Divine masculine, also, I do want to say here is that with Jupiter being in the sign of Gemini, this is one of those things where we have the Seven of Swords reversed. We have the Nine of Pentacles. I don't know why I felt like the Nine of Pentacles needed to be upright. What was I saying? I almost lost it. I can't remember, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, give me 1 second. I have to chase a card real quick. That was a word, you guys. Oh, King of Pentacles. Speaking of which. Okay. Anyway, I lost my train of thought just that fast. Yes. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead and pull some cards. Talking about Divine Masculine. We have the King of Pentacles here. Oh my God. You guys, stop it. The King. Oh, remember, I think I mistakenly said temperamental or temper. It might have been like the last time I started recording, because I recorded this video like twice before. Because I kept like messing up and skipping over my words. There was like a lot going on. But we have the Emperor here. We have the Temperance card. We have the King of Pentacles here. We got the Knight of Cups. Right? I just heard that this was like the Gentle Nudge 4. We also have the Knight of Wands at the very bottom of the deck. And we're going to go ahead and leave that out. And I'm going to be pulling some more cards in just a second. So, looking at these cards here, this does definitely make me feel like this is one of those things where Divine Masculine is like taking a more practical approach, and he's very strategic and very empowered, but also very mature in his way of doing things. He's realizing where he has done too much, or not he, I'm so sorry. I think he, as it pertains to like to leaders, like to like actual like male figures, but this may not be like an actual male figure here. We could just simply be talking about a Divine Masculine figure, whether you are, no matter how you identify, okay? So basically what this is feeling like is that Divine Masculine is finally learning how to follow its heart and understand how important it is to honor the emotional body, to honor the feelings and the reason, and most importantly, the intuition. And the reason for that is because it knows that the more that it dishonors Divine Feminine, that the less it will receive, the less it will get, the less it can accumulate, if that makes sense. But it's not really even just about accumulation or this type of like transactional type of energy. It's more so just Divine Masculine understanding that the root of it, the root of who it is this amazing, beautiful, loving individual. And it is through moderation, it is through the middle way, and it is through choosing the middle path, the middle way, this more peaceful approach, that is how things get done. That is how you take care of it, right? You don't have to be overly dominant or dominant in a way that is harsh, in a way that is overbearing. You don't have to be dominant in that way. In fact, that's not what dominant is. To be a dominant, really what that, oh my God, we have the World card here. How beautiful. We're talking about dominance simply being the one who just simply is in control. That's really what being dominant is. People have this idea that dominance is all about how hard you can go, or this quote unquote alpha male or alpha female thing. And this has nothing to do with that. It has more so to do with who can exercise the control in a way that works for everyone. That is strategic. That is a true dominance. And for those of you guys that are picking up on BDSM vibes, I'm right with you. You guys know by now that I'm about that life. That's all I'll say. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Talk about strength. Oh man. And then we have the Three of Wands and we have the Chariot. And this card wants to come out. Three of Pentacles. All right. So let me move my computer so that we can have more room. How many minutes are we in? That's my chair, you guys. I promise I'm not farting. I swear. It's my chair. Okay, so I can't see how many minutes that is, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Y'all are going to get these messages today. So, yeah, you guys, I went on a roll just now. I really felt that so deeply in my spirit. And I'm just learning how to fully be okay and embrace my own passions and letting my high-pitched voice come out and not feeling so, what is the word I'm looking for? Not feeling so unserious when it does come out. Because I know that in the past, and I'm just kind of sharing this with you. In the past, I felt like I wasn't taken seriously because when I get excited, I talk with like a higher pitch. And when I'm not talking in like a higher pitch, I notice that people take me more seriously. So I'm learning how to like fluctuate between. I don't know why that's important, but I'm learning how to like fluctuate. And I guess the reason why that's important is because you're learning how to just simply honor the softer parts of you, and it's okay. Just because people don't take you seriously does not mean that you're not to be taken seriously. Their ignorance is not your fault. Anyway, so basically with this to me means like it looks like a coming together, a collective effort. This looks like someone standing up saying, okay, this is the change that is needed. I'm going to initiate this because I know that I can see far beyond this. Like, I have the gift of prophecy. The divine masculine here is tapping into its ability to perceive future events. Like, new psychic ability unlocked. Like, not even kidding. It feels like divine masculine has been honoring divine feminine, or at least has been trying to, and now it has the gift of prophecy. It has the gift of prophetic visions. It sees things before it comes, and it plans accordingly. Like, this looks so good. This is such a beautiful display of divine masculinity. You are learning how to put that logic on the back burner and allow your intuition to come through, to allow your divine feminine to step through, so that you can know how to move, so that you can know what to do. But most importantly, you're learning how to be more fluid with your movements. You're learning how to be more buoyant. You're learning that communication is more effective when you see things from not only a higher perspective, but that you see things from, higher wisdom. And from a place of compassion. Divine masculine here is learning compassion. It's learning that it doesn't have to overly do, right? It's just simply learning. It's standing up for itself. It is so confident. It is calm. It is poised. Like, you're learning to be poised. You're learning to be honored. You're maturing. Like, this new moon is showing you where maturity is needed in a practical way, in a financial way. I see you guys doing money magic. I see y'all working with high John the Conqueror roots, right? I see y'all working with that root, a very powerful root, if you ask me. A very powerful root. But anyway, you're learning how to walk away from certain things that are just simply not for you. You're saying goodbye to a lot of things. You are saying goodbye. Let me see where Uranus is. If Uranus is squaring off with anyone. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Uranus is not squaring off with anybody, but Uranus actually is trining with Pluto. It's making this beautiful trine to Pluto. And what I feel with that, I don't know why I'm being drawn to that, but it's almost kind of like the things that you value are changing because you know that what you value ultimately affects and impacts the collective somehow. And I love that. But also what I'm also feeling, I don't know why, but I keep hearing like identity, and I keep hearing like you're learning how to just simply like be yourself amidst like the noise or the chaos or in the group. You're learning your individuality, but again, people have to catch up to you. You are literally in a space in your life right now where you are just so powerful, right? Like, you're learning how to tap into that power. And what are you letting go of? You're letting go of feeling of whatever is trying to leave you. You're letting it go. Like, whatever is making an exit, you're letting it go. And if it's not exiting, you're walking away from that. Cord cutting. I'm hearing cord cutting is a good one, is a major one right now. Cord cutting. But also working together. You are on to something very amazing right now. And at the time of the new moon, when you set your intentions for whatever you need or whatever you may want, please make sure that what you are doing is supportive of your purpose. Mark my words, you are going to be a strong and a fierce leader. Do it in a way that is authentic to you. Put your authenticity first. Put your touch on it. Put your flavor on that, right? And I also feel like with the strength here is like you are seeing the beauty in so many things. You are understanding that your anger was, or the fact that you felt anger. We're not going to claim anger was yours, but we're going to say the fact that you felt angry or that you experienced anger was because there was a violation of some sort. Whether it be in the past or whether it had been, or whether it was in the moment, right? You're learning. You're learning how to pace yourself. This energy is not sporadic. If anything, I'm seeing a beautifully balanced energy here. I do see forward motion. I do see movement. I do see roads being open for you now. And I think the reason why is because you learned your lesson. You learned something here. And you learned the power and the importance of moderation. And you've learned how to tap into, or you are learning how to tap deeper into your ability to not necessarily be fully like calm all the time. But yes, calm is a word for it. And not only structured, but wise in your movements. You are emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, you are just maturing. And I say physically because you're learning how to really watch the things that you're eating and how food, right, your relationship with food or whatever it may be, right, you're learning how to have a better relationship with food and the things that you consume. And it doesn't have to be just food, it's everything, all across the board, whether it be food, right, or body products, right, skincare, like everything, like every relationship that you have, you're learning how to work better with it. All right. I said a lot, you guys. I think I did, actually. Anyway, this was basically like the overall message that I have for y'all, or that Spirit had for us. And thank y'all for listening to me so much. Remember that your greatest reward will come when you stand firmly in your power. That is when the reward will come. That is when the best of life comes, is when you start to step directly, firmly convicted and rooted in your power. That's where it comes. Remember to have courage. Remember to trust yourself. Remember to know that you can do this. Remember that you can do this. If there's anything that you're taking from this new moon, or at least from this video, is that you can do this. And I know you can overcome it. I love all of you so very much. This is my time. Thank you all so much for spending some moments here with me today. If you all need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at CassandraTurner.com. I no longer sell anything. I do not sell. In fact, I only facilitate offerings that you guys can pick from and choose from. And you guys can read more about that on the website. It is in the declaration. There are a lot of things that are changing, and I may or may not go into that in another video. But anyways, you guys can find your spiritual essentials and your sacred offerings over there. And also, if you wish to, you can follow along with me over at Magic of Eden on Instagram, because I do have important updates from there. YouTube is also used for me giving you guys long form content and readings and messages like this. So make sure that you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I do want to see it grow, evolve, and also expand. And I also would love to talk to you guys in the comments. So make sure that you leave me a comment. I love you all, and I'll catch you in my next video.